I'm Amber Davies and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Amber Davies. I have a very highly requested fellow sitting next to me. He is our forever Evan and our only Evan ever.
That's so sweet.
It's the wonderful Sam Tutty.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Pleasure.
Hello.
I don't know if I was meant to do that. Hello. How are you?
I like the outfit.
Thank you. I have toothpaste on my t-shirt, but I don't think the camera's going to pick it up.
It was going to pick it up. We're going to zoom in on it.
I tried to get rid of it at the train station, but it's fine.
It's so weird because I feel like we have met previously.
Yes.
But we actually have never met. We've only messaged on Instagram.
That's so funny. Yeah. I did think I definitely met this person before.
No, you haven't.
But there
Have
we go.
we?
I don't think so.
No, we haven't.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, this is so strange. But yeah.
I messaged you on Instagram because me and Ben came to see you as Evan.
Oh, yes.
Heartbreaking.
Oh.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You're just amazing. But we'll get on to that in a minute. Do you remember you had announced the Oliviers?
Mm-hmm.
And I messaged
Yes,
you
you
and
did.
I was like,
I remember.
help me
Yeah, that was really fun, but so stressful.
Yeah.
So stressful because, I mean, there's a prompter. You've got to I said things wrong, even though they spell it out for you phonetically, and I still said things wrong. I said opera's wrong and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, God. No,
I know.
really
and you think your reputation's on the line.
I talk like that. I was like, the next Olivier is, and I was like, what am I doing?
Did you put on a really posh accent?
I didn't know, but apparently I watched it and I was like, oh my God. Man.
Do you know those people that turn into different people for an interview because they're so
Literally, that's what I was like. I was like, welcome. I was like, this is like wartime 40s to I put you through now. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my God's sake.
Now, as Evan, sometimes I let people choose a ritual, but I want to know if you had any pre-show ritual as Evan specifically.
Yes. There was a few things I did. One was never leave my flat. I never left. So we call it season 1 and season 2. This is pre-COVID, post-COVID. Mm-hmm. Season 1, I lived miles away. Season 2, I lived a lot closer. But consistently, it was at least have a shower before the show, which transcends throughout all my work. I don't know why. I think I want to get rid of the day that Sam had. I'm not a method. I don't do any of that. But it's I just get rid of whatever is on me. Not dirt or anything you know what I mean? Not filth. I'm not stinking, but it's just getting rid of some sort of...
The day.
Yeah,
the stress of the day.
Yeah. So I do that. And then as I was in the shower, I would say the opening monologue, which is 4 pages long.
Oh my God.
So I just get that muscle memory in every day.
Did you ever get that monologue wrong?
Well, it's really scary because they were it would go, "Here's gonna be a good day, and here's why," and he'd go, "Dum, dum, dum," and everyone would look into the laptop, and then he would doubt himself, and then look up to himself and say, "But it's not gonna be. It's gonna be totally fine though, because you're not gonna do this, and that's gonna be fine." And in those pauses, I would sometimes, if I wasn't actually concentrating, I would fully forget and go, I'm sure you've experienced this, but it just happens.
Yeah.
You just speak, and it is just right. It happened again in Evan. I forgot the first words to "you'll be found." So Evan has his panic attack. And he sinks to the floor and he gathers himself and he looks at the cards, he puts them away, and he speaks from the heart, and it's very powerful. And I went, "Have you ever felt like..." There we go. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh
Trust
my
your instinct.
Honestly, and it just fell out my mouth. It's so strange.
I hate those moments though.
I don't know. It's like an electric shock.
Yeah.
To your body. It's I go hot and cold, start sweating.
Bum starts twitching.
Yeah, literally. I was like, eyebrows go. Oh my God.
And it's what is that word? What is that word?
And then it happens it happens in Two Strangers all the time. I got this one line always wrong because I forgot it once and then forgot it for the rest of the week. And then I never remembered to check what the line was in my script. And I just lived with that for a week, and I would just feel, oh my God.
Filled with fear.
Yeah, exactly.
I always just think, what is a similar word, or what am I trying to say here? So I'll just make it up.
Yeah. I always do. I always try to find a path. This is more learning lines rather than trying to remember them. But it's a word has to rhyme with another word, or if a word, the last word of the most previous sentence, I find a link between that and then the first word of the next.
So do I.
Hilarious. There we go. That's so strange because
weird.
I didn't think a lot of people did that, but I think it's probably quite common.
If, say, for example, what I'll do, if it's times was be there, and then the next line starts with so. It's SS.
SS, yeah.
Yes,
SS, yeah.
That.
That's great. Yeah. It's definitely letter. Yeah, wow, that's so strange.
Oh my God,
That's it.
Oh my God, besties for life.
Line learning bestie.
Now, you trained at Italia Conti.
I did, yes, I did.
What year did you graduate?
2019.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You've had a very fruitful
2016, 17, 18. Yeah, 2018, 2019. So yeah, I was quite lucky.
So you were just pre-COVID?
I was just pre-COVID, yeah. So I graduated, oh my God, in what month? I don't know, I can't remember.
May, June,
July, that time. Then 2019 came along. So it was 2018.
Okay.
2019 came along, and then in the July, August, September time, I got Evan.
So a year after.
But I did a job before that at the Southwark Playhouse.
Okay.
I didn't get paid, so I don't know if that classes as
It does.
It does.
Experience.
Fine. Yeah, experience. But I did Once on this Island at the Southwark Playhouse, which was very fun. And then during that process, I got offered Evan, which was insane.
Okay.
Which was very and I had to keep that very quiet.
I bet that was hard.
It was crazy. I mean, one time we were doing rehearsals, like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. rehearsal. In Covent Garden, and I had to ask the director. I asked him, I have an audition for something. It's pretty crazy. He was like, okay, everyone knew it was Evan. Because I was speaking about it a lot before it got serious, which is a mistake I feel a lot of people make. It's like, as soon as you go quiet about it, it's like, oh, it's getting serious now, so even more attention is on you, and it's like, leave me alone.
That show was Once on the Island?
Once on this Island,
This Island.
It was good fun.
That was your debut?
Yeah. Well, that was my sort of like first job, and then my West End.
How did you get a job and it wasn't paid?
Well, yeah, it was like student job. So I just come out. So it was with a BTA, British Theatre Academy. Okay. So it was a lot of like kids and stuff, and I didn't have any work lined up, and I think I wanted to fill my CV as much as I could. When I was auditioning for Evan, the first ever serious one was when I flew to New York.
Wait.
Yeah, I know, it's getting crazy here. I flew to New York, did an audition. Saw the show.
Did they fly you out?
They flew me out and everything. It was crazy. And then I flew back, landed at 9:30 in the morning, got the tube from Heathrow to Covent Garden, and did a 10-6. That happened like a few more times, and then they offered it to me.
Hang on. Rewind. How many times did you go in before they flew you to America?
I had 11 auditions and then 3 New York ones. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
10, and then because I did 13 auditions, so it was 10. Yeah, 3. So I did 10 in the room in London, which was fun, which was really fun. And then
so you really did you know? I guess when you got flown to New York, you had a feeling it was yours.
No, not mine. No, because there was still a few people that they also flew us out with.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like
I want to know those names.
It was fun. I did the maths. It was a 1 in 3 chance of me getting nothing, then a 2 in 3 chance of me working for the company, either as the principal or the alternate. And then this is crazy. They offered me the alternate, and I was like, yeah, woohoo, this is great. I was really excited. I was like, I will give me a second to hone my craft and not like double down on anything. And like, I felt very underprepared in terms of I've not done the West End before. So this is a really great time for me to just foot in the door, ease in, do some great work, but not maybe ruin the whole show because I was,
I'm a grad.
Literally, yeah. And then 2 weeks later, I was just in my flat prepping for a show at Once on this Island, and then Stacey Mindich, the wonderful producer, called me and just said, "We'd love to offer you the main." And then I wrote I had like a diary, like a journal, and I was living with some flatmates at the time, and I on the phone. And I was writing, "I'm the main Evan," and I thought like that. And then we just did this silent dance, and it was just crazy. It was mad. It was just insane. Yeah, it was very surreal. And then I FaceTimed my mum. And
Did
then
she cry?
She felt very faint, so she had to put her feet on the chair and then lay down.
My God!
I have a photo of it. It's very funny.
So you really just catapulted from.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I know how fortunate I am. I really do. I think that job, I owe a lot to that job, and I love talking about it. I will talk about, if this is all we talk about, I'm happy to, because not only did I have the most amazing time, and met friends literally for life. People who worked there in the cast, in the crew, were like, "You're never going to get this again." And I was like, ha ha ha. But I have never in my life felt more like those people were family to me than I ever have before. It was sensational. And I think I was frustrated because that was my first job. And I was like, this is the best it's going to be. And I feel ridiculous saying that. And it's not the best it is, because I've had so much fun afterwards. But that is so special to me, those people. It's just a shame that I had to work so hard all the time. You know what I mean? I was selling my soul.
Yeah, that was a really selling your soul job.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And vocally, massive sing.
Yeah.
Even emotionally.
Yeah. It was the emotion that was the hardest part.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you don't have to, crying and singing is insanely difficult, because if you fully cry, the two things happen. Your larynx flies up to the sky, and then as soon as you try to belt, you feel like your throat's going to fall out of your mouth. And then secondly, exactly. And then your body can't discern between fake crying and real crying. So if you are crying organically, biologically, your body is going to go, okay, well, this is stressful. Your immune system is going to skyrocket up or crash all the way down. And if it does the first one, you've got about 2 weeks until you're really poorly. And if it does the second one, you're poorly straight away. And that's what happened to me. My immune system went all the way up. It was fighting. I didn't realize I was crying, and I was grieving every night. And then about 2 weeks after opening, I have never
completely crashed.
I have never felt like I was fine. I woke up the next morning. I could barely walk. I was like, I wasn't old enough and experienced enough and brave enough, because it requires bravery to be like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I will not do this. I did the show because I think it was quite an important show. It was I think we were still in previews, so I take back that comment about it opening. We were still in previews, and it was really important that we get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And I did the show, and it didn't feel right, and I was like, it'll be fine. I did waving, I couldn't get it out. I literally was like, and then for the rest of the show, my shoulders were up to my ears.
Anxiety,
and then I did, you know, I got through the end of the show, and I just wept and wept, and I cried, and I felt so embarrassed and so ashamed, and I was like, I'm never going to put myself through that ever again. Unfortunately, I haven't had to. There hasn't been a situation where I felt like I've had to step up and be like, no. Because the only reason I didn't was because I was just too scared to even ask. If I said no, it would have been fine. It was a very, very safe working environment. It was totally okay for me to be like, no, you know, but I just didn't want to disappoint anyone.
That's hard.
And then I was off for 2 weeks, and it was so much. And if I had taken that day off, I might have been fine. You know, give me 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's when you push yourself beyond, it's like you do.
When you came back after those 2 weeks, did you have to approach it carefully?
Yeah, I definitely, like, there were shows. The first few shows, I was like tiptoeing. Where, you know, beforehand I would have been very confidently, you know, walking on it, and it was scary. I was scared, and I'd never felt scared on stage before, which sounds ridiculous because it's a scary thing. You should be scared because that means you want to do good, and I think that's where I went wrong. I was sort of not arrogant, but like ignorant, and I was very naive. I was very naive, and I was very young, and I felt like I was going on a roller coaster. I love heights. I love roller coasters. I don't find any fear in that. And I think I should have at the beginning, and that's something I regret, like having. And that's something you learn, you know. And that's the problem when you're thrown into a leading role of that sort of level and intensity. You sort of have to learn on the way.
Yes.
Because drama school can't prepare you for a role like that. And so I sort of figured out through my mistakes, and that's how I am here now.
Yes, I love mistakes.
Yeah.
I love mistakes because you genuinely learn the biggest lessons when you make shitty mistakes.
Yeah. We can swear?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fuck yeah. That's great. I was so scared. I nearly swore. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you can swear.
Great. No, for sure. I completely
I would
agree.
love to know, because it is such an emotional role. Say you're on your 8th show. Did you do 8 shows a week?
It's 6. I didn't do matinees. So that's a big thing. Oh yeah, I forgot I should say that. 8 is so much different. We did 8 at 2 Strangers, and the best time at 2 Strangers is so fun and so funny. 8 was exhausting, and I have no idea how people on Wicked, on people in Hamilton, however they do that. I mean, you were on 8. I saw you in Back to the Future. You were fantastic.
I did Viv as 8 on tour.
8 is just ridiculous. Oh my God, it's insane.
I just breathe.
It's hard. The matinees are the hardest, I think.
Do you? I love a matinee.
Oh my God, I love. Like, hey, listen, you get great people in, you get really interesting and different people in, but I think you don't want to sell them short, and you know you've got to do double the work you would do on a normal day.
See, for me, in my this is how my brain works. My best vocal show will be in a matinee. Don't come and watch me in the second show, because it's not like my voice is warm now.
Yeah.
It's like this
my
is the second show. Shagged.
Shagged. Yeah, no, I agree. I did find it that it felt like in 2 Strangers, a lot of the stuff felt different than it would do just on a one show evening.
day you were coming in about to do Evan, was there ever a time you were struggling to get the emotion out?
Yeah.
Because you weren't as tapped in that specific day?
For sure. I think, it either wasn't tapped in or I was just numb to it. It was towards the end of the week where, in season 1, we didn't have holiday for 6 months. No one had holiday. No one took any time off. The Oliviers were in. We wanted to get all of that in. Do you know what I mean? Paid off. But, but we were exhausted. And I remember I was doing For Forever one time and I found myself pinching myself to literally like stimulate my body because I was so like literally exhausted and it's so like physical. So I had so much fun in Two Strangers because Dougal was basically me and he was so British and relaxed and I felt that translate into my performance. Whereas Evan, he had to take in so much of the physicality and it's like you're so nervous all the time, you're like talking like it's literally like that and that there's an after effect there. It's very strange. It's very strange,
That's amazing. I also want to ask, obviously Ben Platt was the original.
Yes.
And did the film.
Yes.
Did you do any type of research or did you want to, how did you approach that?
I did nothing.
You just
my first audition,
I
felt the touch of God. No. I did nothing at all. I did no research. I watched no bootleg. I had no idea. I barely knew what the show was about. I did the opening monologue with my first audition. And John Emmanuel, our resident director, who's the loveliest man, he went, so you are way too confident. Like, it was like insane to him that I couldn't grasp it. It was like, so you're meant to be, the monologue is Evan convincing himself and failing that today's going to be a good day.
Okay.
And I had fully just played it the first time.
Confident
This is going to be a good day and I'm a fucking legend. You know what I mean? I'm the coolest guy ever. And as soon as he gave me the note to switch it, I totally got it. And I think that was what was like my second sort of chance. But Michael Greif, it stuck with me this, and Michael Greif, our amazing director, he said one of the reasons, and I'm not making this up, I promise, one of the reasons why we were interested in you was because you were one of the people that didn't just copy Ben Platt. And I didn't do that intentionally. I didn't think I'm going to do it my own way. I just didn't. I don't know why. And I think if someone said, do you want to watch the bootleg with me? I'd have been like, of course. Yes. That's a genius idea. Then I was just copying it. So I don't think at all that I was like a cream of the crop. I was like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. I just didn't do it. I don't know why. When I was in New York for 3 weeks rehearsing. I saw 4 different Evans while I was there. Okay. And each of them were different. Like, it was like a different show. Okay. It was insane. I saw Michael Lee Brown. I saw Andrew Bell Feldman. I saw Ben Leroy Ross, they were all like incredible. Mm-hmm. I met up with Robert Marcus, who was in Canada. And they were all incredibly different, and it was the same show, and I was like, how is this the same show? But like, it's not. It was very surreal, and I think that's testament to the actors and to Michael Greif, who's like, you lean into what people want to do organically.
You're their truth.
Exactly. Like, he would give him incredible notes, like when Cynthia gives you Connor's tie, just notice the rings and the jewelry on her fingers. What he meant to say was, you're poor, she's rich, you want that.
Okay.
That's not going to go into my head.
No.
I came to that idea organically through his fantastic notes. You know what I mean? And it was that, and I've seen that now. Tim Jackson, our director, he would do the similar thing, and I picked up on it, and I was like, love that. I love that because it's the character coming towards their own decision naturally, and that helps so much, and it just embeds it more, and it's just much truthful, and it's great, and I love it. It's great.
I love that.
It's so fun. Yeah.
Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York.
Crazy title, impossible to say.
I'm obsessed with that soundtrack. As you know, I was just saying, we've just come back from New York.
Crazy.
So I was going, New York. And then my lyrics are, I'm already popping the cork.
Good, yeah. That's the lyrics.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, talking the talk.
I'm already popping the cork.
And then it goes, I'm already talking the talk.
So is that actually right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was making them up. I was singing it right the whole time. I thought I was making up my own lyrics.
I was like, you were like, and my version, it was like, yeah, that's the lyric.
Oh, right. and that end note.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
On like when you're in the car, if you can drive and you're driving and you can like rewind a little bit on your car, and I just listen to that end note again and again.
Yeah, it's a banging note. It's very. I sort of have a phobia of money notes because I feel like they lean.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's like, if you don't hit that note, then everything you did in the past 2.5 minutes is for nothing. And it's like, and which is why I was very scared with Waving and New York. I was like, oh, this is sort of like the prove it. Can you?
Can you do it?
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh. But no, it was fun. And muscle memory is a big thing. So when I was in rehearsals, I couldn't get it out at all. And I was so like this. And then I realized.
Once you get it, you get it. This is how I convince myself that I can do every show and sing every single show. Once it's in, it can't go. And it just gets easier.
Yeah.
That is literally what I convinced myself.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's really
all
good.
About
That's
the power of your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I had a wobble in every single thing I've ever done. But in Two Strangers, I could do the note great, and then I got really cocky, and then I messed up, and I either cracked or I was under, and I heard it. And
I'd rather crack than be under.
Yeah, I think I would as well, because then it's like you just didn't get it.
Because everyone cracks.
Exactly. Dejana, who I love dearly, and the reason we worked so well together is because we were brutally honest with each other, and but we could also laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other messing up, and just being shit. As soon as I was too cocky and I was under or cracked or whatever, I then for the rest of the week did exactly that every single time, because I was just in my head, and you just have to I don't know what it is, you have to unlearn it and just forget about it, and it's easier.
Or just get it right again once, and you're like, done.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
And out of that hole.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a universal feeling.
Yeah.
All of those feelings, everyone gets.
Exactly.
You know
it's really, and it's really scary, because you sort of forget, you sort of feel like you don't know yourself anymore, and it's
Don't trust
for me,
yourself.
it's like I have an identity crisis. I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? Jesus Christ, am I even meant to do
get
this?
Crystal on
Exactly.
your forehead.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
You originated that role. Was there a workshop for it?
For Two Strangers, if there was a previous iteration of it. It was called The Season up north. I've forgotten where it was, and I knew everything. And now I don't work for a week, and I just turn into this dementia-ridden. I'm like, I don't know what am I doing yet. Yeah. So it was called The Season. There was a previous sort of version of it, and then they if they did workshops, I have no idea. But
so you went in a workshop? No. You just went in for the role,
just for
got
the audition, got it.
Was the show set, or did you have any type of contribution?
Oh my God, we had so much. It was insane. And that's what is so refreshing. I loved Evan, but it was very much like, this is what we're going to do. This is you can do whatever you want with Evan to a degree, but this is the show. And that's great. And I needed that at the time, because I had no idea what I was doing. Two Strangers, I was a bit more confident in who I want to be as a performer. And in the room, immediately I sort of understood that the room was totally up for ideas, script changes, blocking, stuff like that. Really, really fun and fresh sort of angle. Yeah. Our writers, Kit and Jim, I just said, what if it would be funny? Like small stuff like, instead of saying 2:30, a Brit would say 2:30, stuff like that. And he was like, put it in. And I was like,
okay, that's so interesting.
I was like, foot in the door, and I was like, now, Kit, he's going to say this line because that's funny, and he would go, yeah, put it in, stuff like that, and it was really refreshing and really, really fun, and I had a great time. Yeah, really fun.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! No.
Out of Evan, and what was the role you played in? What was his name?
Dougal.
Dougal.
Yeah, fun name.
I didn't get that name down. Dougal.
I thought it was Doug or like Dougal. And I was like, that's not a real name. Well, Doug is, obviously.
Doug is, that was my granddad's name.
Is it? I don't have any grandparents left.
Oh, I do. Sorry.
Oh, good for you. Show off. Christ alive. You seen this?
What was out of those both, would you say Evan was the most challenging?
Yeah, Evan in the obvious way, for sure. But then with Dougal, he's so funny. And you put me in the theatre on a Sunday morning when I'm so used to just doing Monday to Saturday. That's the last thing I want to be,
It's funny.
And I'm like, and just joyful and whimsical. And that was a different type of exhaustion. He was so... and I want to put this out there, these are very uptown problems. And I'm complaining about, and I'm moaning about being in the most privileged position, and I totally appreciate that.
But it's your truth.
And I'm just explaining the realities of the dream. And if you want to complain, do it to my face. But I found it very hard sometimes to be, wow, what's this? When all I wanted to be was like
in
very,
bed.
very just like in bed, or I'm tired and I can feel myself getting, running down, yeah. But yeah, like I said, uptown problems. I'm very blessed. I love my life.
I like that you
recognise
recognise that.
You have to.
However, you were very blessed at one point in your life because you were up for an Olivier.
Yes.
And you went and won it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you know you're one of the youngest actors to win Best Actor in a leading role? You're 22 years old. Kind of, you could, do you know, unfortunately, Sam, it is down from here.
I know. That's the thing. I was like, I got Evan. Down. I've got Evan. Do you know what I mean? I was like, literally.
Yeah.
So what do I do? You know? Oh my God.
I always think like for us actors, Olivier's is like, wow.
Yeah.
You know? Did you feel a type of, once you won the Olivier, oh shit, I have to uphold this?
I was very excited. It was very fun. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to be very real. I was wondering whether to talk about this. I was coming up on the train. I got the Olivier. I was very happy. My life didn't change at all. Jobs didn't come in. More jobs didn't come in at all. If anything, jobs that I really didn't want came in more. And jobs that I wanted more came in less. It just, nothing changed at all. And my life didn't get better. It didn't get worse. I finished Evan. A year after that, I walked into a job centre because I had no money. So then I want to put that out there. A lot of that was my own decisions. I was lazy. I didn't find a normal job. I hate people say muggle job, but I didn't find a resting job. I didn't, you know, and I could have done anything. My ego got in the way of it. I turned down jobs that I really didn't want to do because I would rather not work than do jobs that I didn't want to do. But then that came to me having to go into a job centre. And then at the time I walked out getting denied like anything I asked for very personal reasons. But I came out of the job centre, and Andrew Feldman's, we're friends, and he invited me to see his film No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. I went to the sort of the first viewing, premiere, whatever it is. The next day, went into a job centre, came out of the job centre. I need to stop saying job centre. And then saw his advert for the film, and it was just sort of like two blows, like in one. And that's my point. And I don't want tiny violins or anything like that. A lot of that was my own doing, but like that's how little my life changed. And I don't want people to think it was great, but I ain't getting jobs because of it. If the Olivier was like, and if you get one, you're definitely
secure for the rest of your life,
for at least 50 incredible jobs. You know what I mean? I'd be like, great, give me one. I was so happy I got it purely because it just meant I was recognized by a board that clearly have some sort of acknowledgement of doing a good job, and that as an actor and as a person is what I need, because I'm insecure, and I need recognition. And you're doing a good job, maybe because even more real, maybe because my dad left when I was a kid. Who knows? But it didn't change my life. It was very fun. Mine was in COVID, so I didn't even have a celebration or anything like that. It was great. They put me in a Soho hotel, and I spent £1,500. Not on my money though.
It's so lovely to have someone come on and be so brutally honest.
I think it's important because I think I looked at the Oliviers when I was a student as the pinnacle, and it was like, and it is like the British sort of like flagship of British theatre,
like the Tonys.
Exactly. But the day after, the phone didn't ring. You know, the year after, the phone didn't ring. I'd finished Evan a year like nothing changed. So do just recognize that, okay?
Yeah, I love that.
And if
So mostly it was just, I was recognized, I worked my arse off.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was recognized.
It was, and also the show and the message that it carries deserves the platform that the Oliviers bring in terms of mental health, in terms of anxieties and the chaos of social media. The message that Evan Hansen brought and continues to bring is a really important one, and one of the benefits of the Oliviers was that it puts it on a secure platform for a brief moment of time where nobody is talking about it, anything else, for an hour. And that's all I'd like, you know, just to have that pure focus.
You got such a good head on you.
Oh, thank you.
You have. It's like you've had to grow up really quickly.
For sure. I think I've always been very secure of myself.
Yeah.
But then I think I was thrown into this industry, and I've met some of the worst people that I have ever met in my life.
That is a list I want to have.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. But it changes you. It's crazy.
Two things I want to ask you, because I've only got like 5 more minutes with you, but I do
20.
want to talk to you about Hollyoaks. So you did 21 episodes as Timmy.
I had no money.
Babe, I want to know.
It was great.
You were killed off.
Yeah, I was like an execution.
Babe, why?
Crazy.
Were you like an awful person to work with?
I requested to be killed. No, I didn't. No. I loved working on Hollyoaks. Some of the stuff was questionable. what they wanted me to say. Not in terms of weight, just in terms of pure quality. It was just like, because they just have to get it out. They're like 7 episodes a week.
Do you remember any of your lines?
My name's Timmy and I'm a pervert.
No wonder you got killed off.
Yeah. So I was a bad guy. And I stalked a girl who had a girlfriend. I think I pretended to set up their like carbon monoxide detectors, and then in that had hidden cameras in bathrooms and showers and stuff like that.
Lovely.
Yeah, and then I got killed off by my boss, because I nearly compromised his work, and so he was like, right, okay. Loose ends.
What did you think about filming on set?
Fine, it was fine. I think I was pleased in a way because by my last few episodes I was like, what we got here? We got another shoulder. What we got this like wide shot. Where are you? You're here. You're here. You know, I did. Sorry, my mic was all over the place. But
you learned a lot.
I learned a lot, and it was a crash course in acting for camera. It was a really great time. I met some of the most hilarious people on that show, and it paid during a time where I wasn't getting paid. You know, wasn't on furlough, anything like that. You know, self-employment, all that sort of stuff. My tax was still coming in. I'm very conscious about money because I have very little of it all the time. That's a whole nother podcast. Yeah, no, I had a great time and it was fun. And I realized that I can learn lines impossibly quick now because of that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Skill.
Yeah, really, really good skill. Really good. Also for self-tapes, you know, like.
Did you learn any camera acting at Conti?
They did what they could, but it was a musical theatre college. So, you know, so the facilities were linked. Where did you go?
Erdang.
Did you go? Yeah, you could dance. You dancing.
I can hitch kick.
That's insane.
Oh my
God! Of course you can, because in Pretty Woman you do that. That's great. Mm-hmm. I literally
that one leg.
Yeah. Would you like more?
Broke my back.
Really? I want to ask questions about. We have 3 minutes. Do you love dancing?
I love it.
Would you like to lean into that sort of stuff, like in terms of a show?
I am more singer actress.
Good for you.
But if I can give a dance break, I'd love it.
That's so good.
But I've never really had to.
I'm so scared
apart from
of dance.
Bring It On.
Good. That's great.
I was up in the air.
Yeah.
You can't. Can you not dance?
I can.
Do you want me to give you a tap lesson after this?
That's honestly, I'm already. Can you see that? I'm already shaking. That's so scary. I was so scared. Oh my gosh.
I will give you a tap lesson.
Yeah, okay, fine. I think I got the hang of it towards the end, but I'm just so bad. I'm very wooden, I think. And I did
You'd
want
be
to
in a movement call.
Yeah. And that's why we lean into the actor, the principal roles.
Thank God you got a fabulous voice. Otherwise, my love,
I would be
you'd be back at that
honestly.
Okay, 2 questions that I need you to answer really quickly, but I want your advice.
Okay.
And that we have amazing listeners who are extremely loyal, and
you better be.
Yeah, we have amazing guests on who give great advice. Mm-hmm. So how would you recommend someone deals with rejection?
Mm-hmm. I think you have to remove yourself from the equation. You have to understand that there is stuff that you can't control. And if it's a no, it won't be based on ability. It's purely, you walk into the room, and in my opinion, I've never been behind the board, but if they like you, they've just made that decision before you've even opened your mouth. Especially in TV and film. That's why I hate self-tapes, because I bet 99% of mine don't even get looked at because they're just like, nope, too young. What were we talking about before? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's all based on, a lot of it's based on just looks. Mm-hmm. How about this? Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is a thief of joy.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
As soon as you compare yourself to anyone else and who did get the job, it completely destroys your perspective on the logistical side of it, on what they have to do and the decisions that the people behind the board have to make. It's a business. You're auditioning for a business. Mm-hmm. You're making them money. And so as soon as you walk out that room and beat yourself up and do that, it completely alters your perspective on reality, I suppose. On just a level, on what level head you would have if you didn't beat yourself up. So I think just remove yourself from the equation and just remember there are so many more factors that you can't control. For me, too small, too skinny, too red. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are things that I can't control. And
me too old.
Me too young.
I always think when I go into an audition, I am a juicy apple, but they may need a citrusy orange. So they would go for you then.
This is an attack. They would love me if they needed a citrus orange.
Yeah. They'd go for you.
Juicy
apple. If they needed a juicy apple, me.
And that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. They just might not be part of the cocktail.
Exactly.
But you're still a juicy apple.
100%. And one more thing, that the rejection happens across all the boards. A-listers get rejected.
Oh, yeah.
So like, there are so many people that like, I didn't get this. And it's like, you didn't get that? Like you listen to it on other podcasts and things and stuff that they admit. Like, you know, I would talk about rejection. Screw it. I really, really wanted... Oh my God.
Yeah, you really did want it.
Yeah, I've forgotten it. Where was it? The Wyndhams, and Jack Wolf was in it, and he's the best person in the world.
Oh, I know. Next to Normal.
Next to Normal. I wanted that so badly, and I was so heartbroken when I didn't get it. And then I met Jack, and he is the most wonderful, most deserving person of that role, and crushed it. But he's just, yeah. So
and it's like, oh, that's why they went for him.
Yeah, it's like,
but I'm still amazing,
perfect.
But that's why they went for him.
Exactly, and it's hard, and you have to get a thick skin, and it sucks.
And the last question is keep it really short.
Yeah.
Advice for anyone who is just about to graduate.
Don't compare yourself to anyone. I said that before. The industry is based on individuality, and you in yourself are an intrinsic individual, and you are valued in this industry, and you deserve to be there. And I didn't. And my stomach just rumbled so much. Oh my God! Did you hear that? No, I'm so hungry.
Do you want an orange?
Do you want an apple? I didn't get Evan because I didn't copy Ben Platt or any other person, and that is with me forever now. So your individuality matters, and you deserve to be in this industry.
Bring you.
Be you. Exactly.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Sam, you've been a dream.
This is amazing, and congrats for having this platform.
Thanks.
And like seriously, you work so hard on this, and it's so important. And there's never been, when I was growing up, I know you want to keep this short, but when I was at school, there's never been anything like this.
Thank you.
So it's really important, and it's so genuinely fascinating, and you're an incredible person.
Next time you could answer me on Instagram quicker, because I've been trying to book him for about 6 months, but never mind.
This is how you know it's coming to the end, because you've got Sam Tutty on the end, because it's just like, bottom of the barrel. Job centre actor.
I've been asking him literally for 6 months. Anyway, time for a tap lesson. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.